Welcome back to another episode of Aunt and Andrew, where family's everything.
Until it's not. I'm Aunt.
And I'm Andrew.
Da, da,
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da
da.
da da da
I
da da
love
da.
this show. I
I know,
love
me
this
too.
show. And you know what I think I love about it? Because I was thinking about it is Shah's gone
Okay.
and Pump Rules went into a different stratosphere. And this has basically stayed what it was intended to do. It stayed
Wow.
very sim. It's still at its roots in a lot of ways.
A bunch of millennials that are trying to be classy, but end up being a bunch of trash boxes.
But it stayed to its roots. I mean, it is basically the same show it started. It hasn't had this massive evolution.
Yeah, but it should be called Southern Trash, not Southern Charm.
I love it. I love my favorite part is that they started showing the Ravenel Bridge. And that's what I mean by they're keeping that tradition. Maybe because Southern Charm is the most in the most traditional of cities.
Are
It
you saying
stayed
they
so
showed it like in the
traditional.
first scene or the
No,
opening?
they opened. The opening scene was they showed the Ravenel Bridge and then they panned into Charleston. But like think about it. Shaw's is in LA and that's not a traditional town.
But
And
New
so
York,
isn't
New
Pump
Jersey always
Rules.
shows them going over the George
No.
Washington and showing them going
Well,
into New
I'm not
Jersey.
talking about Housewives show. I'm
Oh,
talking about the fact that Pump Rules, Southern Charm, and the Shahs used to be the little in-between shows you had
the
between.
middlemen.
They were like the middlemen. And so I love that Southern Charm has stayed what it was. It didn't evolve into something
Yeah,
else, and it's
totally.
basically got the three guys, they're great. I love them. I love Craig. I love Austen. And I even love
And you better
Shep.
tune in to the end of this
And
episode
we're
and
gonna
the
do Marry,
Mary
Shag,
Shep
Kill.
Kill.
We're gonna do
Shep,
the
Austen, and
the
Craig.
middle-age housewife version, and we're gonna do the young millennial gay man version of Marry, Shag, Kill.
100%. And we only going with them, or can there be another gentleman from the cast?
Well, you could do Marry, Shag, Kill for the cast. I don't know who else is there between Austen, Craig, and Shep.
What's his name?
Whitney?
I'd marry for that kind of money. Woo!
Oh.
He's got exec producer of Southern Charm. He's got all his mother's money. He's got
I know he's
that
the only
house.
child too.
So
Yeah,
let's
well,
just
no,
do the three amigos.
let's just do the three amigos.
Yes,
Yes,
and then
I
next
agree.
week on Thursday, when we come out with our episode of Orange County, we will be doing our Marry, Shag, Kill of the Tres Amigas. Obviously, it's hypothetical, saying you wouldn't marry a woman and neither would I, but we're going to still pick them in the
Oh,
same
that's really
mindset.
hypothetical. Oh, that would really be out there. I figured the Marry, Shag, Kill of Shep and Austen and Craig is kind of close.
Well, they're the
to both
Tres
of us.
Amigos,
Yes.
and we're going to then do the Tres Amigas.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
And then the week after, we'll pair up the Tres Amigos and the Tres Amigas.
Oh, that would be good. Okay, I
Vicky
want to
and
say
Shep.
that I was really bothered by the fact that Olivia was dumping her dog's trash in the river. I mean, it's just gross.
I'm really upset with Olivia, period.
Yeah, I don't know. I find Olivia and going into this, Olivia and Taylor's relationship's a little forced.
Totally.
Like,
and also,
they're
they
the
were
two
going to hang out with Paige.
girls.
You think they're going to hang out with Paige after Craig's fight with
No,
Taylor?
but you know what?
Paige is going to go over?
I'm going to tell you, I thought when Craig was there with Paige and stuff, I wrote down that more women should be indifferent like Paige's. I think that's what Paige, it makes her so interesting. She's just indifferent.
She is. She doesn't get involved.
She doesn't get involved. And she's just like an attitude that more women should have of not getting caught up in the drama. I think more people should be Paige-like and not get so emotional about everything. Do you think Paige is on something? Now that I just thought.
Oh, no, she's fun. You should see her on Summer House.
No, I'm not saying that she's not fun, but I like how she doesn't get caught up in all the like crazy. Like,
it's kind of her snarky attitude. She's always been like that.
Yeah. Is she from New York?
Jersey.
Oh, yeah. So maybe that's it. It's that Northeast. Like you separate yourself from people because you got people around you all the time. So when you live in the Northeast, you kind of have to separate yourself from people, or otherwise they all
was a fashion blogger.
Vampire suckers.
Paige
what do
was
they
a
call them?
fashion blogger, like old school, like your daughter was with their makeup.
Oh, way back in the day.
That was like her
huh?
thing. That's how she came on Summer House. She was
Oh,
always known as the fashion blogger, like which I give credit to because now we see all of these people on reality TV being like, I'm an
I'm
influencer, I'm
this.
a blogger.
Oh,
But she
oh.
was fashion from the start. She's
Yes.
always been that way.
Well, that's good for her. I love Craig's house has potential, but Craig's house will never be done. I don't know why. There's something. He's a little bit Queen of Versailles that way. I don't know if Versailles will ever be done because every year there's something in Craig's house that's a mess.
Could we call it Craig's Casa, Craig's Castle, like Chateau Sheree?
Yeah, you can totally, but it never seems to. There's always something that's not done, and it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what he does with the hot tub because Paige isn't going in it. No, I can't
The
blame
hot
her.
tub's gonna be done whenever we see Sonia Morgan Couture back at Century 21.
Oh, that would be good. That's when Craig's house will be done. I was surprised that Madison looks like she's going to have Brett a part of the story because we didn't see him at all really last year. We didn't even know his name was Brett. I had to write it down because I wasn't sure what his name was.
I have to say that I felt that his interaction with her son was very natural and organic. I don't
Yes,
think it was
thought
forced.
but don't you think it's weird that he's a fireman in California?
And that it's a great job. He's 3 days off, 3 days on, 8 days off.
But
Something
he lives in
doesn't make sense to
California.
me.
Yeah, something didn't make sense to me either. I mean, maybe he goes out there and he works 3 days and then he works his schedule so that he's off 8 because firemen usually do like 3 days on and 4 days off. So
Maybe he goes to LA to film episodes of Chicago Fire.
does he? I don't think
I don't
so.
know if he's
I
putting
don't
out
think so.
fires.
But I thought that was weird. So maybe he stacks his schedule. So he's on 3 days, then he does his 4 days off, then he does his 4 days on, and then he's works for 3 days. It's the whole thing. I'm just saying,
But
he
it's
does
3 days on, 8 days off.
no, because he's doing 3 days and then 4, and then he starts the next week is 4 days off, and then he does 3 days on. So that week is behind him.
But then it means that means
I don't know what it means,
will
but
never
it's kind
match
of
up.
weird if
Yes.
she lives in Charleston, South Carolina, that he's in LA as a fireman. That's all I'm going to say is weird, but without a
What's
doubt.
up with these people always having to be friends with their exes?
No, we're going to get to that. I just want to say, I have to preface this. Madison is the most beautiful woman on Bravo TV. Nobody can match her.
Currently.
Currently on Bravo TV, Madison is gorgeous.
Gretchen Rossi's
no, she's not
gorgeous.
as I like Matt. Maybe it's because I like Madison better.
Also, Madison's look hasn't changed
at all.
She's been beautiful since the start.
She did get boobs. She didn't have boobs.
Yes, but not her face.
She's just beautiful.
Gorgeous.
And I love her little petite frame, and I think she's beautiful. And I kind of like Madison. I'll be honest with you. I've always liked her snark, and I like how she gives it, and she's smart, and she's beautiful, and I like Madison. But I did kind of miss Catherine Dennis, even though she does bring something to the table. But I can get why they got rid of her because she's a lot of drama too.
Catherine Dennis was like teen mom on Southern Charm. Okay. She was like the trash. She was like the ugly stepchild that made you laugh.
But the funny part about Catherine is she wasn't trash at all. That's the weird part. She's a Calhoun, and she's got a long lineage, a very aristocratic lineage there in Charleston. It's kind of weird how it all went so wrong for her. I would blame drugs probably. And Thomas Ravenel. Let's not forget about
that's a drug in
Thomas
itself.
Ravenel. Okay, I don't know why these people are forced to. I can't imagine what it's like to have to force with all of your exes. I mean, we've got Shep and Taylor. We've got Craig didn't date any of these women. No, because he got rid of Naomi.
Naomi's no longer there. She was wrestling. She was a filler last season.
Yeah, that's true. But he had her. And now Austen has
Austen
had
and
Madison
Olivia
for a couple of years. And Olivia. Poor Austen. His list is growing, isn't it? Because he had Chelsea, and she was around after the fact. And he had and he slept. Madison. He must have in Madison, and now Olivia. They all slept with Catherine too, right?
I don't know. Did
they?
Well,
I know Shep did, and I know Craig did, and I know probably Austen probably did too. I can't imagine he didn't tap it. I'm just gonna say. But I know that Shep did, and I know Craig did, and I know Whitney did, and then of course Thomas Ravenel did. So she
Yeah, well, of
really went
course.
around. I mean, so that just sort of like the fact that they're all forced to film with each other is like where I say that this series has stayed the same since the beginning, because was sleeping with each other then, and they're still sleeping with each other.
Yeah, and when they showed the flashback of Austen and Madison breaking up, it was one of we don't give that scene enough credit of it being one of the more sad, real moments in Bravo history, where they both were being really mature. And when Madison says, "We had a beautiful story, I love you, but it's just run to its course. Like we're at the end," and you can just see the pain in both of their eyes and the sadness. I want more of that on Bravo. That stuff is real. You don't have to produce it. It happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Bravo's lucky with Southern Charm that there's so many beautiful people around these guys.
Well, they also casted it that way.
No, but they didn't originally cast. I mean,
You don't
Taylor
think Whitney put together a group of beautiful people?
Yeah, but they're none of the women are on this show anymore who started.
No, but then they only bring in beautiful ones once they have it on the air.
No, but they're girl. I mean, Taylor's there because she was with Shep.
Well, yeah, of course. I would hope they're not going to date anyone that shouldn't be on TV.
No, but that's not what I'm saying. But now she's a cast member. I mean,
Oh,
and
yeah,
she's beautiful. Olivia.
And she's
well,
manic.
Olivia became a cast member and then slept. It's
I
not
don't
the
like
other way
Olivia.
around.
I don't like Olivia. She's trash. She just sleeps at her parents' house. They live in where Charlotte now or whatever. She's just came on because of Austen, got a little
Well,
fame.
I didn't like that she was pushing the poop in the ocean.
I know. I didn't like that either.
I just thought it was
the
ugly.
turtles.
I'm going to tell you, and poor Taylor does still love Shep.
Oh, she's obsessed with him.
It's sickness.
She hasn't had any closure, and I think that the problem is that it's one of those things.
You'll never have closure if you're in love with Shep.
But also, I think for her, it was like, okay, if he cheated on me with one person or there was one incident, fine, that's what I have to deal with. That's what I have to heal. We move on. But as you're healing from that one moment, then you start to heal about this girl. Then you hear about that one. It's like Tom Sandoval all over again. You got Miami Girl, then you got this, then you got that. And now there's a rumor about Billy Lee, who apparently is a comedian, by the way.
Oh, that's a joke.
They're going on a comedy tour or something.
Oh, Sandoval and Billy Lee?
No, not Sandoval, just Billy Lee.
Oh, Billy's on a comedy tour? Oof.
And has a new book coming out with a terrible publisher. It's like a wannabe publisher. It's like one of those like MLMs where you pay in.
I was going to say that you self-publish. You can say you're an author. Yeah, that works.
I never do that. I only do in a big one. You hear me publishing houses? You want a big book from me?
I know of several
Simon
people.
Schuster, Penguin Random House, Macmillan. I want you all to come to me. I don't want to do no
Listen, I know some people who've self-published their book and they carry them around in their trunk and give them to people. And every time they hand them out from their trunk, I think about someone else we know.
Sunglasses.
That's an inside joke. We actually shouldn't have inside jokes on this.
Why?
Well, because people don't know what we're talking about. I want to say
family's everything until
it's not. And so when we have these little inside jokes, it's really our family that we're joking about.
It's our therapy. We're moving through our trauma.
I want to say I love when the boys. Is it wrong to call them the boys?
No, they're like the Tres Amigas, but we call them the Tres Amigos.
Yeah, but would I say the boys? Is that condescending?
What do you mean? They're the boys.
Because sometimes people don't like if you call a woman a girl.
No, but I think you could say
they are boys because they're very adolescent.
And they're adolescent, yes.
They're very,
and they
very
admit that.
Yeah, okay. So I loved when the boys went to the very eccentric clothing store, which was fabulous. See, you don't find that in a lot of cities. That's why it makes Charleston so interesting, is it's so eccentric. It's got that little bit of crazy that runs through some Southern stuff.
I have two friends in Boston that I just haven't had the most touch with, but they are gay guys. They're friends. One, his family has a house in Osterville and on the Cape and grew up in the Midwest. The other one's family has a big, nice, beautiful house in Cohasset, and he travels all over the world with his parents. And they are the gay versions of Shep, Austen, and Craig. They dress over the top, debonair, like with their bow ties and their different colored belts. And they're very out of sorts in Boston. They talk very much in that like there's someone from another Housewives franchise that was like a guest, like similar to how Lisa Vanderpump brought in the Beverly Hills darling. She
Yeah.
is this like over the top blonde. I think he was gay, like party planner.
What
Maybe it was on
city is this?
Atlanta. Was it
No,
Atlanta?
Atlanta had Dwayne.
Oh no, Atlanta was the guy who owned the house in Miami.
I don't remember him.
When Nene, her friend's house, and Kim showed up with her assistant, and then
Yeah,
Nene
but I
called her
don't really remember
babe.
that. But I do remember Dwayne. He was
Oh,
sort
we
of
all
fit
remember
that.
Dwayne.
I mean, Dwayne, we don't have those Dwayne characters anymore on any of the shows, do we? Because Lisa
No.
Vanderpump the first year had the foreign guy. I
Oh
can't remember
yes.
his name now.
Um. Oh,
Like
he was
Andre
that.
or something like that.
Um. I forget. It'll come to both of us. But you know what we also haven't had, but is coming back.
What?
Kim D has been rumored to be filming in Jersey.
Oh, is Jersey filming?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh
Jersey's
yeah.
filming right
Oh, of
now?
course. They
Is
filmed at
that
the
why? Is
Dolores at the softball game, and Jackie Goldschneider has had a falling out with Margaret and Melissa, and she's now friendly with Dolores and Teresa.
She'll bring
She's
it.
smart. She's got that book coming out. She wants Queen
Yeah.
Tree on her side.
Yeah, maybe. Is that why Jennifer Aiden is prancing around in a King Richard's Fair outfit this week? Oh, because they're filming.
That was the video I sent you. Remember, I told you yesterday we had to talk about the
it's
video.
her.
That was
And
it.
that must be the reason they're filming. So that's why she's doing it, because otherwise you don't see. I didn't know they were filming. Oh, that's
I
great.
think that she did that because she probably got paid by the fair to do that.
Yeah, but I think it helps that she's filming because the film crew will be there.
Maybe, but she might not even be going. It might have just been a promo video to get people to go.
No, she said she was going to be there with her kids. We'll all be dressed, and Dr.
Oh
Aiden.
yes.
So it's paid.
Do you think that Olivia took the video?
Maybe. No, I think Jen probably has a camera set up in her house ready to go at all times.
She literally looked
She has a phone on a tripod that she's hitting play. I'm here. That's Jen. Good for Jen.
That's
I
true.
would be the same way.
Are we ready for Marry, Shag, Kill?
No, we're not. We didn't get into
we
the
have to go to
episode.
Madison's party.
Oh, first of all, the house. It was
Gorgeous.
Brittany's house. Oh my
But you
God.
couldn't get I have a question. You don't want you bring that beautiful house and you can't pay for a valet or someone with a golf cart at the end of the driveway so Craig doesn't have to walk through the whole front yard.
I thought I saw a golf cart bringing people around. I
Well,
did.
Craig missed it on the drive back after
he
stormed
must have.
out.
We didn't talk about the three boys going to Errol Flynn's place.
Yes,
though.
we just did.
We did. We didn't really talk about it. That's why I said I love that.
Outfits.
I love it. It. You know what? You don't get a store like that anywhere else. That's what makes this town so great. It's great. I love Madison's.
You know, there is a store up in Kennebunkport, Maine called Donna for Men.
Yeah, and it's similar.
Right. Oh,
well, because it's the same type of look, the same preppy, the same.
I think they could do a show up there.
Oh, that would be good. I think they could too. I just want to tell you, it gets messy in that. First of all, I love that Craig arrived in a members only like bomber jacket. I thought that was so good. I love that. It gets so messy that we've got Austen's got to deal with Madison. She's getting married. We've got Brett there. He's the husband. He knows they were together. Then we've got Taylor and Shep and all of that fakakta mess is the only way I'm going to say. But I loved the champagne cart when you arrived. I loved the little cakes.
Oh, the party
was done. I loved the man walking around with the oyster shucking. Mm-hmm. It was one of the better parties we've seen, it wasn't over the top crazy like Heather Dubrow would do. It was just a nice, classy party. I had my first oyster just in June.
I don't like them that much. I've had one before.
Yeah, I had it. I had it in South Carolina, and they were roasting them outside. And then they said put some a horseradish on it and suck it down. And all I tasted was horseradish.
My mother had her first this summer too, and my dad said she likes them now. I go, what do you mean you like them? You just swallow it. It's like kind of gross. It's slimy.
It is slimy. It is slimy. But
do you ever notice that, like, because you say it's not a Heather Dubrow party, and it's definitely not like a Kyle Amansky, like Kyle Richards and Mauricio party either. Mm-hmm. But do you think that sometimes with some of these franchises that are in places, or these shows that are in places that are not in a major hub,
Right.
you can sometimes see a lot more, because like you can throw a party like that in
Mm.
Charleston,
Right.
just or at a house. Like, I mean, or when you don't have to go through a caterer, you don't have to go through, like,
Right.
we saw Heather Dubrow throw a lunch at all these like amazing over the top 5-star, probably Michelin restaurants. Some of them,
Right.
they're
Right.
probably costing her like $500 a head for a lunch,
Easy.
right?
Right. Right.
And then you have Madison, who's like, yeah, it's probably what, a 500. The cake overall might have cost $500, which
For all those little cakes.
for
Yeah.
all those little cakes, which is
Right.
a lot of money for all those little cakes. But at the same time, it's something where like you can get someone that's not charging Beverly Hills prices, and you can do so much more with your dollar.
Right. But I do think down south, they do everything very nice.
Oh, yes.
They do, especially in that area and that kind of money. It's all very high tea and very sophisticated. And even though it's Southern, and us Northerners tend to put people from the South down.
I love the people.
Not at all. I do too. I think it's very elegant. I love that they maintain their tradition and they embrace this is who we are. And they've got beautiful homes on the water. And that Brittany's home was just magnificent.
And their style is so nice too, because they can have this year-long style for the most part.
Again, they're not over the top with all of the designer stuff like Salt Lake is. No, they're all just wearing. Venita has some nice clothes, and she's out there, style-wise.
Yeah, but I also think you can wear, like, I think the thing about fashion is that it's about what you look like. It's not about what it reads. It's like you can have on a like an over-the-top hat that has no brand on it, and wear on and have some fabulous Chanel shoes on at the same time. And no one's thinking any different about that hat or the shoes.
You don't
no
even have to have the fabulous Chanel whatever on. I'm just saying though, they have just a much more of a sophisticated elegance. But that is because Whitney produces the show. And let's face it, Miss Pat, she is about as elegant as it gets. I'm not sure if anybody's as elegant as Miss Pat.
Do you think that the reason why Naomi is not on the show this year has anything to do with the fact that she fooled around with him last year?
Yeah.
Whitney last year?
Yeah, probably.
And now,
And look at Catherine fooled around with them. She's not on the show either.
Yeah, but Catherine had to literally dig people into their own graves alive before she finally got kicked off. So
yeah, she dug her own grave, and she was always wearing crazy Gucci stuff and everything too. And in a lot of ways, she never really fit into this show.
No,
she was always also a byproduct of her relationship with Thomas. You know, she became a cast member because she got pregnant by him and nothing else. I loved when Austen said, "Don't shake it if it's ticking."
Oh yes, don't shake it.
That was funny. That was so odd. The side hugs.
He was so nervous.
He was so nervous. You could see he was like a whore in church. He was like a whore in church. You think he's shy?
Yeah, he's hesitant. If you watch him on some of these shows, he's not once he gets drinking, once he gets into it, but he reads the room before he starts stirring the spoon.
I don't know. I don't think he's shy. I think he has a lot of mistakes out there and he's treaded. I think he's in a minefield. That's why he's cautious.
Mysterious a little bit.
No, I think he's in a minefield and he's afraid where he's going to step. So he's always a little, oh, don't step there. Don't step there. I mean, but as opposed to Shep, who has no self-awareness.
Yeah.
He's like the Ramona Singer in a weird way of Southern Charm because he has no self-awareness that he's destroyed all of these people and he doesn't care. He has
this is a perfect segue into Mary.
No, we haven't finished with the party yet. We have to talk about Craig and Taylor. What do you mean? We haven't finished with this yet.
You're right.
Okay. Taylor,
I was just being respectful of your 2:00 hard deadline.
No. I told you I got later than that. Don't worry about that. Craig Craig was the only one that hugged Brett.
That was nice of him.
Yeah, it was the only one he was the only one who hugged because the others didn't hug.
They shook his hand. I think that's all stuff.
I know it was like a whatever. You know, Craig was at least open and welcome. And
but I think that Craig has hung out with Madison and Brett. That wasn't the first time meeting him.
Yes, I know that. But wasn't it great when Austen decided after Madison made a speech that Austen steps in and opened his big mouth?
Oh, yes.
I was so awkward. It was so good. I loved it. I loved it. I loved the show.
Well, let's say Craig and Taylor.
Show. Oh, Craig. I thought Taylor and Shep at the bar was very staged. It was
Yes.
like you two have, it had to be written on the list. Eventually, you two have to end up at the bar alone, so you
Yeah,
can start
totally.
fighting. You know what I mean? Now they might not have scripted it out that way, but I loved. Oh, I also loved how the boys arrived in an old school limo. It was
Oh,
so
yeah.
good. It was so. It was
You
so
could
good.
tell, and I think you could tell, like, this is the one thing about reality TV that I think becomes more and more aware. Unless you're Tamra Judge, who's coming back on a show to stir, like that's
Yeah.
why you're coming
Right.
on.
Right.
The more and the longer you've been on a show, you can tell based on how you react to things, how you engage. Not only is Taylor going through crisis, and I feel for her. She's on a show where she wants to get paid, she wants to continue to be on, and she has to just be around her ex. It's very much like Ariana and Sandoval, but with different stakes. There was less betrayal. It was more, I mean, I know he cheated, but at the same time, it wasn't a cast member. It was someone that we don't know. There wasn't the direct connection, friends, all these different intersecting storylines.
Right.
But you can tell that Taylor is really in flux. She doesn't know which way to go. She doesn't know which emotions. She's still really grieving and in pain. And now she has to see him. And it's something where and when she watches it back too, Shep's on there talking, oh, we're going to be friends. She got a new dog. Our dogs are going to play together. Leave the dogs alone. Okay.
I know. Keep the dogs out
Graham
of it.
brought into it.
Yeah.
We got to bring Graham into it with James.
I know.
And now we got to bring little baby Craig into it.
Yeah,
It's
I never
leave the canines alone. It's not fair.
Yeah, well, you know why? Because there's so many millennials who don't have children. They have dogs, and the dogs are replacing the kids. So it's like when people get divorced, they're still dealing with their kids back and forth, and the dog is the kid replacement. So they don't have a kid. So the dogs, I'm going to tell you, I know someone that did that for about 3 weeks, where the dog was with her and then was with him. And then after like the third week, she looked at him when he came to pick up the dog, and she says, I really don't ever want to see you again. So I went and bought a same exact dog, and it looked just like the dog, and said, you keep that dog and I'm keeping this dog, and we don't ever have to look at each other again. And I thought, oh, good for you.
I mean, I hate to say this, bless my heart, but if something ever happened to me and my partner, that dog's with me. It's part of she's tattooed on me. He ain't getting no dog. No way in hell. He knows it too.
Do you really have a tattoo of that dog?
No.
Oh, I thought you meant like she's
an
yours.
Analogy.
Yeah,
like
okay.
she's tattooed on my heart.
You got a tattoo of a dog.
You ever heard that song? Just like a tattoo, I'll always love you. You know that stupid Rihanna song?
No.
Okay, well, it's all about
Remember,
tattoos.
the first time I heard "We Found Love" in a
hopeless
place, I thought she said, "We found love in a homeless place."
Oh, well, did they have teeth? Homeless, but not toothless.
No, I went, yeah, I thought it was a homeless place. And I was with my daughter and I said, homeless place. And she goes, did you say homeless? I said, I did.
Is it homeless or
homeless.
Toothless? Homeless. Homeless, toothless.
Oh,
the toothless homeless or the homeless not toothless?
That was so funny. I will say Craig is like us in one way.
What?
He can't stop talking either. It doesn't matter. And you have to drag him out of a party. And he's proof that you should leave before all the shit hits the fan, because he could have left there when they came over and said, it's time to go. It's time to go. Time to go. And instead we saw a full unhinging of Taylor.
Yeah. And also I feel like he's like us in the sense of, I'm telling you, don't start with me. I'm telling you, walk. And if you want to hear the answer, if you want me to jump in, buckle up.
Yeah, you're not going to like it. But he was 100% right in everything he said. Yeah.
Yep. And he wasn't rude either. He was
No.
very straightforward. Now, some people may say it came off insensitive, but what I'm telling you is...
No, it's time to... I mean, how long have they been broken up at this point? It's been months.
Also, imagine how many times Taylor has tried to talk to Craig and tried to get him to say, I understand, Taylor, I'm on your side. Clearly, that's what she tried to do with Austen, and it worked.
Right.
She's trying to do it with Craig too.
Yeah.
And that's what people try to do. They do try to go to the friends of the person that you broke up with.
Of course. Yeah. Well, that's part of a triangulation too. Like that's the thing. So you broke up with the guy. So you go to his best friend and you tell them everything that's horrible about his best friend. And then the guy is like sympathetic to the girl. I mean, guys do it too when they break up with somebody. They're calling her girlfriend, and they're telling him all things about them. And then it starts this weird triangulation, because either the guy loves that he's the confidant or the girl loves that she's the confidant. And it gives them inside information on their friend. And it becomes this weird triangulation. Ugh, who needs that?
Totally.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
all
Well,
time.
I'm going to go first.
You can't stand it another minute. I just want to say I am so glad that Southern Charm is back, and I think they're going to bring it.
I do too. All
I
right,
love
here we
it.
go.
And wait a second. Do you think that Taylor and Austen start?
Absolutely. No, I think they did once. I think it's going to be a big thing to talk about. And I think it was probably a one and done, probably a makeout. I don't even know. I think it's all for TV. Everyone's trying to copy Scandival. Okay. We got Carl. We
Oh,
got Carl and
maybe.
Lindsay on Summer House. We got Austen doing this on Southern Charm. Can
I
only
know. We
imagine what
even thought
happens in
Kim
Winter
Zolciak.
House.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
God.
All right. You ready? All right.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to start it
I'm
because it
going
was
first.
my
No.
Listen, I just want to announce that we are going to do right now marry, shag, kill Southern Charm style because I came up with it. I just want them to know I came up with it.
Okay. So wait,
right.
let's just go one by one. Who would you marry?
I married Craig.
Same.
I married Craig
Why?
because he makes nice pillows.
Oh my God, that's what I said too. My house would look nice. He makes money. He owns a business. We can go different places. He's not tied down to someone else telling him what he needs to
and
do.
he's like, and he likes style. He's neat.
Like style. He's a good husband.
His life is a mess, but he does make nice pillows. That's what I thought. Okay.
And the house, if it's ever done, will be nice.
Yeah, because he has a nice style. I like his.
Yeah.
I like Craig. I like Craig. I'll
Shag.
marry Craig. I'm shagging Austen.
Same. Oh God,
I'm
this is
shagging.
easy.
I'm shagging Austen because you know what? He's had all kinds of films of him walking out of the bedroom after he was just doing two girls in the back. So I figure he's a good romp.
How about Madison? He's been with Madison, and she's the most beautiful girl on Bravo. So clearly, it's good.
No, but not only that, but when they had that video that came out of them and he was just in the room with the two chicks and she's screaming at him and he's in his underwear. I just think he's sort of a hot mess that he'd be interesting.
Totally. And then kill Shep.
Shep.
My reason is I can't do the anxiety.
I can't do Shep. He doesn't appeal to me. Out of the three, he's the least attractive to me. He's a child. I don't know what it is about Shep, but I don't find him even really attractive, to be honest. Like
I could never.
I'm
too insecure. I'm too insecure. I couldn't deal with it. I'd always be like, "Where are you?" Text on the phone. Where are you?
I don't even find him like sexy.
I don't know. All I know is that
sexy. But we're gonna. If we did Craig, Austen, Shep, Mary.
I do believe that Shep. If there's one thing about Shep, I have to say, and I'm not saying that he did it at any point that would have protected Taylor. But he did have a nice moment of reckoning at the reunion when he did realize that he fucks anything that walks. He doesn't know how to be monogamous and he's never going to have anything long term.
Never, which is too bad. He's going to regret that in his life if he doesn't. I mean, maybe at 60 or so, he'll settle down.
It's very sad people that can't find the agency in their life to be able to say, let me settle down. Like that for me is one of the hardest things I see when I see people. I obviously have people that like maybe they just for some odd reason stay single most of their life. Like we know people like that. But I'm talking about the people that like don't want to be single. They try to date, but then just they go through people like underwear because they're never satisfied. They're always looking for something more. Like that's, I guess my point is when you are always something that I think I always did when I was drinking was that, and in that space was that I always needed more. I always needed the next this, the next drink, the next this, the next party.
Yeah.
It's something to be said that when you are happy with where you're at and you're just comfortable, but you're able to still do new things, but you don't feel like you need to outdo yourself from the day before. You don't feel like you need to prove yourself. There's just a level of peace in your life when you know that you go home to the same place, the same people in your life. There's just a level of just ease that you operate your day to day when you're in that space.
Yeah. But not everybody ever really wants it, you know.
I know it's sad.
Other people don't know anything but. So,
and the
best
what I always things say, in life is when you got what you got, which is a great partner, great someone companion. You do fun things together. You support each other. You build each other up. But then you get to do fun things on your own that are like your passions too.
Yeah, like this podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what happens in life when you're single? You want to be married or with somebody, and when you're married for a long time, you're like, ooh. So it goes both ways. Everybody
but the
wants
grass is not greener.
Have. It's not greener, and you find that out in life. But I'm just saying that is very like Craig right now. He's been through all of these women, and he's very happy with Paige. Like he's getting to that point where he's maybe ready to settle down a little bit, because they showed a preview where he's like, well, what if we're not like gonna get married? Like, what's the point of this relationship? So he's kind
That's a
of getting,
flashback
oh, that
when
was a
she
flashback.
cries and she says she doesn't want to leave her mom.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was a flashback.
That was last season.
Oh, oh,
Winter
sure.
House, actually, I think it was. It was Winter House. They were both there, and it was
Right.
them skiing, and it's her saying like, but I also have to say, like, I'm sorry. Can we get over the storyline of Craig and Paige and who's moving where? It's 2023. They have an hour and 30-minute flight from each other.
Yeah, they can go
There's
back and forth. Well,
of
jeepers, if the other
course.
one's doing California, well, what the heck's in New York and Charleston?
Which one? Oh, the firefighter?
Yeah, the firefighter Brett. He's going all the way to, and they got married. They got married.
I wonder what firefighter porn he's filming. I really gotta know.
No, I think he's actually a fireman. I'm gonna have to do a deep dive on his life.
We'll do a deep dive. We're so excited about Southern Charm. We
I
know
love
this was
it.
a little longer, but we had a lot we got to talk about. We had to kick it off in Southern style.
Yes.
And now we just hope you have a great day. And whatever you're doing today, tomorrow, I hope it's a sip and see, maybe like Phaedra had, or maybe go into a little Southern baptism or something. You're gonna have fun. Wear that hat, wear that bow, drink that lemonade, and have fun while you're doing it. We love you. Bye.